Otherwise, Andy Martino confirmed the Mets have agreed to terms with free agent catcher Wilson Ramos.
Wilson Ramos is raked. In Washington, he raked last year with the Tampa Bay Rays. He knows the National League East, and he's going to provide stability at the position.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. Welcome to all those carrying our announcement live at MLB Network, all the Mets social outlets. With that, we'll begin today's proceedings by introducing Mets General Manager Brodie Van Wagenen.
Thanks, Harold. Good morning, and welcome back to Citi Field. I know we've kept some of you busy here over the last couple of weeks, but today we're here to announce the signing of Wilson Ramos, the fourth All-Star player that we've added to our roster this offseason. Wilson is a right-handed hitting, middle-of-the-order bat. He's a veteran catcher who can control the running game, and he can command the respect of a pitching staff. As we got to know Wilson over the course of the last couple of weeks, he talked to us about his desire to help young pitchers reach their peak potential. Obviously, we have some pitchers that I think will be really benefited by his presence. In short, Wilson was the perfect fit for us. Before we finalized this agreement, we explored a variety of options. We evaluated trade scenarios, we talked to agents, we met with free agents and talked to players like Wilson. And in doing so, we found ourselves in the fortunate position to be able to choose our path rather than allowing others to choose our path for us. Ultimately, we were focused and decisive when we reached out and decided to commit to Wilson Ramos. Throughout the process, it became clear to us that Wilson was the right guy for us. Even going back to the GM meetings, Wilson's agent, Scott Pacino, who's here today, emphasized Wilson's work ethic, his physicality, his commitment to his off-season training program, and ultimately his desire to play for the New York Mets. When we had a chance to sit down with him, this guy commanded the room. As you can see, he's a pretty physical presence. His poise, his confidence were extremely compelling to us as we sat across from him. Ultimately, by the end of the week, it was clear that we needed to make him a priority for us. And as we've said throughout our tenure here so far, is that we want to bank on people. And getting to know players, having the ability to talk to them directly matters to us as we're trying to build the right characters in the clubhouse. And Wilson clearly fit all of our criteria in what we look for a player, not only his talent, but also him as a person. And ultimately, with this signing, I think we continue to address some of the off-season goals that we outlined for you at the beginning of the year. We haven't been shy and we haven't been bashful as we shared some of these goals with you. And this action, rather than our inaction, should demonstrate to the fans that we say what we do and we do what we say. And today we get to say that Wilson Ramos is our newest member of the New York Mets. Good.
We'll give you a moment, Wilson, if you'll slip on the jersey. Wilson, we'll let you make a few opening remarks before we take some questions.
All right. Good morning, guys. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Brodie, for this opportunity. I'm very excited for this opportunity to give it to me to help your team. And I know I can help your team to win. Everybody know me already, what I can do, and that's what I want to do with this team.
We're excited to have you.
Good. With that, as we've done in the past, please, when needing to ask a question, wait for the mic and state your affiliation along with your name prior to your question. We'll begin with Steve on the right.
Brody, Steve Gelbs, SNY. You just mentioned so many qualities that drew you guys to Wilson Ramos. Obviously, there were a ton of options out there. Was there one particular quality, whether it was on or off the field, that really pushed him over the top in your mind?
Well, first it was his handshake, as some of you may get to know. This guy has really big, strong mitts here for hands. But in all seriousness, I think for us, it was the presence that he had. When we look at our pitching staff, we talked about our goal of stabilizing the catching position and being able to have someone that could immediately give confidence to our pitchers, both in terms of his preparation and his ability to support them. So it was really his persona and his experience catching some of the the best pitchers in the game, and his stint in Tampa last year, and then obviously with Philly most recently, and then ultimately in Washington. I mean, he's caught a lot of pitchers, and his pitching staffs have been very successful. And I think while the talent is there, I think it was the person to be able to control the pitching staff that was really compelling.
James.
James Wagner, New York Times. Congratulations, Wilson. When you met with the team in Las Vegas, and I think you met with other teams too, did you want to do that? Did you want to meet them in person? How did that meeting go? How do you think it kind of turned out after that?
Yeah, when I meet them in Las Vegas, I feel really comfortable in the room. We talk, they give me some confidence. I felt that, and that was one of the reasons I take this auction to be with this team. And we talk really well when I meet those guys, and I feel so comfortable in that meeting.
Bruce.
Bruce Beck, WNBC TV. Wilson, how do you handle the challenge of staying healthy, because your productivity and your talent is undeniable?
Right now I feel really, really happy because I'm working really hard. It's a good challenge for me to be here, and I'm working really hard this whole season to be healthy for the full season, and that's try to do my best to be healthy.
Matt.
Wilson, what was it about the Mets that particularly stood out to you and ultimately made you want to sign here in the next few seasons?
They have a really good team. I know, a couple of guys in this team. The rotation is really, really good. I like to work with young pitchers, and young team. And I want to win. And I feel this team can win.
He told us he wanted to play in the National League East. He's played with a couple other teams in the division, and he wants a chance to go beat some of those guys.
Yeah, that's what I want.
In the back.
Wilson, Bill Latson, MLB.com. Wilson, you talked about the injuries you've gone through. Could you talk about what you've done this offseason to make sure you avoid the injury bug?
I've been working with my agility stuff. I'm not working on my knee anymore because I feel 100% with my knee. And right now I have opportunity to work with my agility stuff and my running stuff, all that. And that's what I'm doing right now. I don't pay any attention to my knee because I feel 100%. And right now, I'm just concentrating and working on my running stuff.
The front.
Wilson, Nata de las Mayores. ¿Cuáles fueron los factores que incidieron en tu decisión de firmar con este equipo?
Bueno, uno de los factores es la juventud que tienen y el talento que hay dentro de esta organización. De verdad me sentí bastante bien cuando tuve la reunión con ellos en Las Vegas. Eso me dio bastante confianza y me sentí bastante bien al ver al gerente, al dueño del equipo sentado conmigo en un cuarto, y eso fue una de las cosas que me dio confianza, y sé que puedo ayudar también a este equipo y llevar muy bien a la rotación.
Tim.
For Brody, kind of how complex is it to evaluate catcher defense these days with some of the newer analytics you have, and then the intangibles that go into it? And then for Wilson, kind of what's it like to have, does it motivate you to have kind of more of an offensive reputation than a defensive one behind the plate?
Well, I'll take the first one. It's really easy for Adam Guttridge and TJ Barra and Chris Pang and Joe Lefkowitz to evaluate it. It's not so easy for me. I have to interpret their vocabulary. But I think there are certain skills that are very obvious to us, and we've talked about this over the course of the offseason, that we want to try to have a catcher that can help us control the running game. And Wilson has been able to throw runners out. He's been able to block balls. He's been able to be a presence behind the plate that pitchers have felt comfortable with. So, as far as the advanced stats, we looked at those with relation to all of the players that were available. And at the end of the day, the combination of the offensive player that could hit for us in the middle of the lineup with the defense made it sort of the perfect combination for us.
Ron in the front.
Wilson, since the kidnapping 7 years ago, have you had to continue to take precautions for you and your family for security? Do you have to make sure you live in a gated community or not be that visible in public away from the ballpark?
After that case, I already turned the page. I feel comfortable living here in the state. My family's happy, and I'm not put too much attention on that because I don't want to think on that. I want to concentrate on my games, on my job, and like I say, I already to that page.
Good. With that, thank you, gentlemen. I think we're going to make both available for one-on-ones. Wilson is going to head to the back. Brody will remain here. If the TVs can come to the stage and the writers can come to my right, we'll rotate everybody through. Thank you again for coming.